Hi everyone, welcome to today's workshop, Cybersecurity in Your Small Business, brought to you by Grow with Google. Grow with Google helps grow your skills, careers, and businesses by offering free digital skills, training, and tools. I'll start by introducing myself. I'm Ivan Monreal with Chico Start, a nonprofit that helps startups in Chico. And I'm so excited that you're here with us today. Please note the following examples are of spam messages. Let's start with some examples of common cyber attack attempts that many of us, if not all of us, have experienced. Have you ever received an email like this when exciting news that a generous stranger gifted you $1.5 million? Sounds too good to be true, right? Emails like this have many variations. In this example, the sender wants to know if he can trust you with $10.5 million. If you respond with your phone number, he'll let you know what to do next. And cyber attacks are not limited to email. They can surface in many forms of communications, including text messages. Attacks aren't always as obvious as a multi-million-dollar giveaway, but you might be asked to click on a link to renew a subscription for a service that sounds familiar. This is an example of phishing, when a cyber criminal impersonates a brand or person to trick you into taking an action that gives you access to your device or accounts. Sometimes the communications are threatening. This sender says that they found illegal, embarrassing content on your computer. They plan to let everyone know unless you transfer 13.5 Bitcoin to their account. The value of Bitcoin can fluctuate, but at the time when the email was received, the ransom was more than $20,000. A blackmailer provides instructions on how to make Bitcoin transfer with the little barb quote, "If you don't know how to purchase and transfer Bitcoin, you can use any modern search engine," end quote. Best of all, they offer some parting advice. They suggest that you keep changing all your passwords frequently. That's not shabby advice. In today's workshop, we will show you some ways to create and manage strong passwords so you won't, quote, get caught in the similar kinds of situations anymore in the future, end quote. This workshop will explain ways to improve your online business security. It will help you understand the cybersecurity matters for all businesses and sizes, show you how to ways to protect yourself and customers online, and explain your next step in every in the event of a cyber attack. All of us have heard of computer security breaches over the years, with customers' data stolen, systems disabled, and access to important data held for ransom. As a number of digital tools grow, they also become attack vectors for criminals and other bad actors, presenting another challenge in business. According to an online survey conducted by the Connected Commerce Council in 2022, 65% of SMB leaders say that data security and customer privacy are concerns for their business right now. In the same survey, 85% of SMB leaders said that having a cyber security plan in place would make them feel more comfortable using digital data tools for their business over the next 2 years. There's no denying that there's a lot of bad actors out there, but there are also actions that you can take to protect your business and your customers and start developing your cybersecurity plan. What exactly is a cyber attack? A cyber attack is any offensive action that targets computers, computer network, infrastructures, or smartphones. Here's another way to look at it. Think of your computer, phone, and online presence like a home. The home has different entry points, including email, social media, a website, and more. Cyber criminals test the entry points by automatically attacking the computer code that knocks on every door to see which one opens. Initially, a cyber criminal might not know or even care what's inside the home. They won't necessarily review brand or business information before attacking. They are simply checking for vulnerabilities which can be exploited. That's why it's important not to dismiss cybersecurity thinking that your business is too small for an attack. Most cyber criminals choose targets by looking for technical signals that suggest vulnerability. These can include out-of-date websites built with less security, software that hasn't been updated, and technical vulnerability on employee devices. So how can you protect yourself? Let's start with the password and identity. By now, many of us have probably heard advice about creating strong passwords. It's helpful to review some basic tips. Make your passwords difficult to guess. They should be long strings of characters that include letters, numbers, and symbols. Keep passwords private and never share them with other people. And use a different password for each account or service. Using different passwords means that if someone figures out one password for your account, they have all the passwords for your account. Perhaps an easier way to manage password is to use a tool called a passwords manager. There are many options available, but they essentially do the same thing. They help your security store and autofill passwords so you can easily sign into your account. Some password managers can also generate secure passwords for you too. You can find different options for password manager by doing a search for password manager. An extra security measure you can use to protect your identities is called a two-step verification. This feature is also known as two-factor verification and multi-factor authentication, or MFA. Here's how it works. When you sign into a device or an online account, when your username and password, two-step verification adds another requirement. You can't sign in until your computer complete the second verification step. This could be a code sent to your phone, a phone call that requires a PIN code, or physical security that must be plugged into the computer. Enabling two-step verification means the account is protected by something that you know, plus something that you physically own, like a phone or security key. The combination makes it more difficult for an unauthorized person to sign into the system. If your business uses Google Workspace, your administration has the option to enable two-step verification. If your data is especially sensitive, there's a security key that are among secure form of the two-step verification and protects against phishing threats. You can purchase a security key, they start about $30, or use your phone's built-in security key available on phones running Android 7 Plus or iPhone iOS 10 Plus. If you're using Google consumer tools like free Gmail, you can turn two-step verification at your Google account. If you use Google Workspace, you have an administer account or admin account, even if it's just you. An admin account has privileges to manage its services like Gmail and Google Docs. If your business does not have a dedicated IT administrator, you're probably the admin. Here are some tips to help the admin set up the Google Workplace account up for security. You can add an automatic warning if the file is being shared with someone outside the organization. Another tip, limit how users share their calendars. Company calendars can contain sensitive information, so you might want to restrict calendar sharing so external users cannot see event details. And don't get locked out of your account. If you set up a recovery phone and email address, Google can send a new password, iPhone, phone, text, or email. The Google Workspace Administrator sets up security options that apply to everyone in the organization, but individual users can add their own restrictions. For example, if you share a file with another person, you can control whether they can edit, comment, or only view the file. To learn more on how files and folders work, you can visit g.co/grow/share files. Now that you've learned some ways to protect your passwords and identity, let's talk about protecting your equipment, apps, and data. Let's start with the basics. First, never leave your computer unattended. Even in your workplace, you should keep your computer private. One option is to enable a lock screen. It's a security feature that requires a password to access data and programs on your computer. That way, if you step away from your computer for a few minutes, the lock screen keeps your website private. If you're responsible for distributing computers to employees or colleagues, make sure they can access only the devices assigned to them. In addition, people should have access only to the tools they need for their jobs. Finally, Make sure hardware comes from a trusted source before using it. For example, if you find a USB stick on your desk and you're not sure where it came from, don't plug it into your computer. The same considerations apply to mobile devices. If your colleagues and employees can access company information via smartphones or tablets, consider creating a mobile device management policy. If you allow employees to access company data with their personal devices, consider what could happen if someone's device is stolen, lost, or if the employee leaves the company. One resolution is remote data wiping, a feature that enables an authorized person to send a command that completely erases all sources of data on the device. This option can protect your company's asset and reduce the risk of data breach. Now that you know some ways to protect your equipment, let's cover some other safety precautions that can protect your apps and your data. First of all, make sure that your operating system and software is up to date. It's important to use supported software that allows you to run regular updates. When possible, enable auto updates so you have the latest security fixes as soon as they're available. Review your device. Are these apps that you do not need? If so, remove them. Finally, if you're responsible for distributing computers to employees or colleagues, establish policies that limit the risk that data can be stored on their devices. Again, if a device contains only the information necessary for someone to do their job, there's less risk to the company if it falls into the wrong hands. Many of these security precautions can be addressed by using a cloud-based computing system like Google Cloud. Google Cloud powers more than 100 products and services, from financial service products to gaming. If you use Gmail or Google Workspace, you're already using it. Cloud protects your information, identity, applications, and devices using the same secure by design infrastructure, built-in protection, and global network that Google uses to run its business. So far, we've covered protecting password, identity, hardware, and apps. Now let's talk about some ways you can protect your customers. Securing your website and protecting web pages from unauthorized access. Restrict websites and access to the people responsible for making those updates. Many sites are edited via web-based content management systems that are accessed with the user name and password. That's where our password safety tips come in handy. If two-step verification is an option, consider turning that on. Another way to protect your site is to use HTTPS. Sometimes the easiest way to explain something is to look at it. If you have a computer or smartphone handy, pull up the website. Any website will do, and look at the URL at the top of the browser window. You'll see that the URL starts with HTTP or HTTPS. Without getting too technical, this prefix allows browsers to load web pages. HTTPS is the same as HTTP, except the S, it means the website is secure. HTTPS tells a browser to encrypt the data exchanged within the website. Encrypted designs, data, and lessons that change information is viewed or manipulated by unauthorized people. Adding this security protection protects customers' data that is viewed or exchanged via the website. This is especially important for the personal details or financial information. But it's a good idea to use HTTP even if your site doesn't handle sensitive info. To use HTTPS, you need a secure certificate. Most likely, your web hosting provider offers this feature. If they don't, you can buy a digital certification from a company that sells them, called a certificate authority, and install it yourself. Google Workspace includes a website builder tool called Google Sites. Initially, this is available as a consumer product too. Google Sites automatically include a secure certificate. You don't need to pay for it. Again, this secure measure protects customer data that is viewed or exchanged via the website. Google Sites Google Sites can be used as an internal site or shared with the world. You control who can see it and edit it. You can learn more at google.com/sites. Protecting your business doesn't stop with your website. Another area of consideration is your email provider. Choosing a provider that supports encrypted transport layer security is an important step towards protecting your business and your customers. By default, Gmail always tries to secure TLS connection when sending email. However, secure TLS connection requires that both the sender and recipient use TLS. If the receiving server doesn't use TLS, Gmail still delivers messages, but the connection isn't secure. When in doubt, do not open a suspicious email, period. Unsolicited email is called spam. Sometimes spam is simply an online version of a cold call. Sometimes spam can be a cyber attack. Remember, rem, remind colleagues and employees to be careful when clicking an email attachment, downloading files, or visiting new URLs. Never click on links in an unsolicited email. Look out for suspicious sender, email address, and email signatures. One common type of email attack is called phishing. In this phishing attempt, a cybercriminal impersonates a trustworthy brand or person to trick into taking action that gives them access to your business or customer. For example, they might try and trick you into installing a malicious piece of software called malware that gives them full access to your computer data. This right here, this is not a legitimate authorized email from the brand. Spam emails, malicious or not, can be difficult to spot, but there is some warning signs that can help you make a decision about whether it's safe. Unfortunately, each of these signs does not necessarily indicate that the email is spam. Sometimes it's a combination of signals that will tip you off. There's a threat of unplanning expense urgency. Invoice has been done and there will be a charge of $348.60. Unknown sender, no profile photo, poorly written copy, and an attachment. Let's look at another cyber attack attempt. It's a tricky one. Take a look at these two screenshots. Both appear to be from Google. Ask you to input your two-step verification code that would provide access to your account. Can you spot the fake? Here's a closer look at the fake one. The first thing you'll notice is that you don't recognize this person. We dropped a clue using unknown sender as the email address. Also, there is no profile photo associated with the email address, another cue that might help you identify a fake. The cue that cliche, it is the URL. It's really tricky because as quick glance as you look, you're at https://accounts.google.com. That's a Google URL. But if you take a closer look, you'll see that the next character after the .com is not a forward slash. That's what you would see if the domain ended in .com. Instead of following of the forward slash, the URL continues with .https://com.tn. That's not a Google URL. Google's email product, Gmail, provides a high level of security, protecting businesses and users from spam, phishing attacks, and malware by filtering out harmful emails. Gmail blocks an estimated 10 million spams every single minute, 100 million phishing attempts every day. Gmail is available for free as a free consumer product and also provides Google Workspace, a productivity suite built for businesses. Google Workspace account also includes an optimal free service called Advanced Protection. Advanced Protection is different than two-step verification because the second step is always a physical security key. In addition, it limits third-party access to your data, puts stronger checks on suspicious downloads, and tightens account recovery security to prevent unauthorized access. Bottom line, think before you click. When in doubt, do not click. Plan ahead. Finally, let's consider this proverb. At once, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. That holds truth with most things in life, including cybersecurity. It's important to have a plan ready in case you do detect or a security problem. A data breach response plan outlines who's in charge and what needs to be done if sensitive or confidential data is viewed or stolen by an unauthorized person. This response plan can protect your business assets by ensuring that actions is taken quickly if things go wrong. For example, in case of a ransom attack and the cyber criminal steals sensitive data and then demand a ransom for its return, a solid response plan would include making sure you have recent data backups. Take time to develop a clear plan in advance so everyone understands what steps to follow if a security incident occurs. Another step you can take to protect your equipment, software, and system is to create a record of your technology assets. Which platforms, tools, and softwares are you using? What accounts like social medias do you have? Don't forget to include suppliers and customers as well as employees. During your inventory, you might also discover out of date software, a potential target for criminals. Answering these questions will help you develop an asset inventory, an important step for improving online security. You do not want to train employees about cybersecurity while you're explaining a security breach. Do not wait. You might designate someone at your business to be responsible for online safety policies and training. You could create an internal training website where security information and resources are available. Training and resources are a great start, but it's just as important to make sure your company has a strong security culture. Employees are the first line of defense. Ideally, they feel comfortable reporting concerns or mistakes without fear or blame. In the event of a security breach, the focus is to identify and resolve the issue. You can build a security culture by discussing security regularly, encourage employees to share concerns, and making sure that the company leaders model good security practices. What to do if you're attacked? Consider this scenario. Despite your best security efforts, you are the victim of a cyber attack. Perhaps you inadvertently clicked a link in a phishing email or your account was hacked. Maybe you don't even know your systems were breached, but you notice suspicious activity on your account. If you even suspect that you're being attacked, you should take proactive steps immediately. Start by telling your IT department what happened. For many small businesses, the IT department might be you. Contact the financial services that you have accounts, including banks and credit card companies. Check closely for an activity you don't recognize and report fraudulent activity. Closer place holds on any account that you suspect may have been compromised. Check your credit report for any accounts that you didn't open. You can request a free credit report for each of the nationwide credit reporting agencies every 12 months. Report any fraudulent account or loans you don't recognize. Consider protecting your credit by placing a fraud alert or freezing your credit. After securing your bank and credit card information, report the attack to the appropriate agencies. First, file a report to the local police so there's an official record of the incident. The next step is to file a report with the FBI, Internal Crime Complaint Center, I3C. Cyber crimes reported here will be investigated and referred to the appropriate agency. To file a complaint, visit www.ic3.gov. This is security breathe involved fraud, scams, or bad business practices, contact the Federal Trade Commission's FTC at www.reportfraudftc.gov. If you find any fraudulent activity on your credit report or have reason to believe someone is using your social security number, you can also file an identity theft report at www.idtheft.gov. Depending on the situation, the steps you take will vary. No matter what type of cyber attack you experience, it's smart to change your password. If your equipment or software systems are compromised because of malicious software, you need to seek professional technical support and continually monitor your credit and financial accounts. Let's recap all the topics we discussed today and look at a few additional Grow with Google resources. First, use strong, unique passwords for all your accounts. Use two-step verification. Keep equipment safe, including mobile devices. Secure your website using HTTPS. Use a secure email provider. Don't wait for a cybersecurity attack to figure out what the plan is. And finally, get your colleagues and employees on board developing a nurturing a security culture. You can learn more about online safety by visiting Google Safety Center. From here, you can access features like two-step verification, automatically deleting web and app activity data, setting parental controls to keep your family safe online, running an account security checkup. If you enjoy the video lesson, subscribe to Grow with Google YouTube channel at growwithgoogle.com. The channel publishes videos covering topics that can help you grow your skills, career, and business. Get qualified in-demand jobs right now at Google Career Certificates. Grow with Google is an initiative to help people prepare for work, find jobs, and grow their business. Job seekers can grow their skills in order to find new jobs. Teachers can learn how to put their latest technology to work inside and outside the classroom. Small business owners can build their online presence and find new customers. Startups can learn how to get their ideas and exposure they need to succeed. Developers can sharpen their current skills and master new ones. Thank you so much for attending today's workshop, and we value feedback. If you take a moment and share your thoughts, we'd appreciate it. All right, thanks for coming to the workshop.